Welcome my darlings. This week's video is about this, Infinity Wax Obsidian. This is their new graphene infused spray sealant, and what better way to test this by putting it up against another graphene infused spray sealant, Turtle Wax Flex Wax. Okay, so I've done a thorough wash at this point. It's been Meguiar's Wash Plus and chemically decontaminated with a fallout remover and a detarring agent. Now I'm applying the Obsidian to the driver's side of the entire car, and then I do Flex Wax on the passenger side of the entire car. What I found during application was, whilst both are a bit grabby, the Flex Wax was far worse, and as we know in the summer, you need to kind of level the Flex Wax with a damp cloth following it around before buffing it off. Buff off for the Obsidian was pretty good.
The flare sole applicator is really nice. You just spray it and push it once. You have to use it different. You push it and hold it, and it's like a pressurized spray. You see, like, you don't go ch 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 ch. It's pretty good. Oh, we've seen it. We'll do it now. Yeah, here we go. That's just one push. It helps give a nice consistent mist, I think, very different.
So here we are, 1 month in. Now this was in the deep freeze we kind of had before Christmas, so it was mid-December. We had a week where it was really cold, got down to like -8 for a couple of days. There was lots of road salt on the ground, lots of mud, and it had been raining a lot the couple of weeks before. So that's what you can see evidenced here. Now, in terms of pre-wash prep in this case, I went about it with my usual Built Hamber Auto Foam at 4% PIR, and then I followed it up with a contact wash of Built Hamber Auto Wash. Now, Auto Wash isn't the most free rinsing, so I'll show you a bit later. I've got some pictures like the day after when it rained, and you kind of saw that the water behaviour was a little bit sharper and better than it looked like straight after the wash. With that said, let's get all this foam applied and washed off, and then I can show you what the water behaviour is. Just a couple of stills here showing how the different products are fighting off the snow foam. This is the Obsidian, and this is the Turtle Wax. Okay, here we're looking at the water behaviour from the pre-wash rinse. There's been no contact wash yet. This is just the auto foam having been rinsed off. You can see that it's on the Turtle Wax side here, it's beading and sheeting pretty well. And again, it's fairly consistent on the Obsidian side. I would say the Obsidian is a little bit quicker. And in a moment, you're going to see both of these side by side, just so you can get the reference point. Now, one of the main points you have protection on your car at all is to make it easier to clean. So this is the Obsidian being pre-washed, rinsed, and it's seeing how well it's rejecting the dirt and managing to get it off. Pretty good, pretty impressed with that. This is now the Turtle Wax, and again, it's pretty consistent. I can't pick between the two at this point. Then we're going to have a little look at the water behaviour after the rinse. So we saw the bonnet already, now we're going to look at the side. This is the Obsidian. And this is the Flex Wax, and you can see that the tops of the doors on both cases doing really well, bottom parts of the doors not so much, but then there hasn't been a contact wash yet, so that's the next thing after we look at the boot. Well, there's definitely some life still there, isn't there? Bearing in mind they haven't had the contact wash yet, I was pretty impressed with this. I thought they would be a lot deader on the back, because the boot is usually the first bit to go. Alright then, contact wash with the Built Hamber Auto Wash now. Now this is the Obsidian after the contact wash, the water behaviour from that. And it's definitely perked up, so it clearly was dirt on the top. We knew that anyway, but you can really see that this is zinging along a bit more, beading very quickly and sheeting very well as well. And again, the post-wash rinse down on the bonnet for the Turtle Wax Flex Wax this time. And again, it's broadly the same as the Obsidian. It should be. Both of these pieces of footage have been slowed down, by the way. So if you think, oh, that's not moving that quickly, this is about half the speed. So you really get to see how it's beading and sheeting. Both should be comparable, and I'm glad they are. Now, if anything, the wings and the sides probably tell you more of a story, because the bonnet should be good. The wings aren't too bad, they don't get too much abuse. The door panels and the boot are really where you kind of really get to see the longevity, and you can see that it is sheeting, and it's doing a pretty good job. The top of the doors are beading, the bottom of the doors are where it was really dirty, and it's sheeting pretty well. Again, this is slowed down footage, so you really get to see what's going on. That was the Flex Wax. Now it's back over to the Obsidian, and you can see that again it's doing very, very well. It's probably beading and sheeting quicker than the Turtle Wax, I think, especially on the lower parts of the doors, which is impressive. It's showing good resistance, and this isn't just chemical resistance. You know, it's got lots of road salt on there, road grime, and just general other things the weather can send to it. So it's doing a pretty good job. Right, so this is the beading from the day after. So natural rain on here, and you can see down the sides of both parts of the doors, it's doing well on both sides. And then the same shot, but a week later. So a bit of driving has taken place. You see a bit of grime has started to accumulate. Nothing terrible, but you get to see that how the beading is affected. And then this is how it is on the roof and the boot. Okay, now it gets more interesting. 3 months in, I haven't washed it since the last wash. It's been very cold again. There's been lots of road salt again, and it's been 2 months without a wash. I'm currently applying the pre-wash, and in this case it is auto foam, but I'm doing it via pump sprayer because direct hoses have completely stitched me up and ruined my hose. I'm not going to get into that one. I'm not bitter about it. Anyway, this is the water performance, just rinsing the pre-wash. You can see on the Obsidian here, it's doing pretty well, pretty lively still. I'm impressed actually. We could go and see the Turtle Wax in a second, but the thing I want to mention here is the pricing of the two products. So for the Obsidian, for £25 you get 185ml. For the Turtle Wax Flex Wax you get 680ml for £22, and that is a huge difference. They're holding up pretty well compared to each other. I think the Obsidian, to me so far, as you can see, probably has the slight edge, and the application of the Obsidian is definitely easier than the Flex Wax. But then the Flex Wax has other benefits, like you can use it as a wet wax, you can use it as a drying aid. You know, like there's many different approaches. You can use it as a rinse wax if you want to, although I think that's a very wasteful way of using such an expensive product. But it is good value for money. But when you look at the water performance here, it's not quite as good as Obsidian. So what we're trying to work out really is which of these is the best product in terms of longevity and as an overall LSP, and then only you can decide if the cost is worth it. Both are rejecting the dirt pretty well, they're rinsing down pretty well. More has stuck on both sides this time and needs a further attention with the wash, but you can really see that the hydrophobics of these products are still there, they're doing well. This is the Flex Wax. We'll flip over the other side in a minute and look at the Obsidian. I think what you can see here is the top half of the door pretty comparable. Bottom halves, I would say the Obsidian has got the edge here. It definitely seems to be beading up more once the dirt has been blasted off. What do you think? Now we're onto the boot, and you can see here the water behaviour really has disappeared. But I'm going to wash it with Fenlab Pure Rinseless. I'm going to use it as a contact wash. I'm using it as 500 to 1 in the bucket, as opposed to 250 to 1. So that's 40 ml of shampoo solution in 20 litres of water. And I tell you what, this stuff can raise the dead. So the Pure Rinseless is probably even like the best decon shampoo I think I've ever come across, in all fairness. It's incredibly effective. You see here, slowed down, the water behaviour is pretty good. It's still beading, it's still sheeting. And the best thing about the Fenlab Pure Rinseless is it doesn't leave anything behind. So we're going to look at this on the turtle wax for a few different angles, and I'll switch over and talk to you when we're looking at the Obsidian. So we're 3 months in, and you can see that both of these products are doing well. I think the Obsidian has got a bit more zing to it. I think there's more urgency in its rejection of the water, so the hydrophobics. It beads quicker, it sheets quicker, and it's consistent from the bonnet as well as on the doors. So whilst they are degrading on the doors quicker than they are on the bonnet, they are still performing well, and I think the Obsidian is performing better than the turtle wax. Again, this footage is slowed down, you'll see it in real time in a minute, but you can really tell the difference. Now you can see here the water behaviour on the back after the wash. So on the left hand side that's the pre-wash rinse, and on the right hand side is post-wash with the Fenlab Pure Rinseless. I told you that I could wake it up. There was nothing there on the boot, was there, after the pre-wash, and now this. It's pretty impressive. Both of them doing pretty well. I would still say the Obsidian may have the edge, but it's really close. I thought you'd find this interesting. This is the dirt beading on the car a week after I did this wash. I went for a drive on the motorway, it's been raining a bit, there's a bit of salt on the road still, and it's throwing all this up. There you go. So after 3 months, I would say so far the Obsidian is holding on a little bit better than the turtle wax. Both still there, both doing very well, but I think the beading and sheeting is faster with the Obsidian still. So let's see if they manage to last the whole 6 or so months. I only do about 100 or so miles, 150 miles a week, so it's not huge. If you do a lot more, you'll probably end up burning through these more quickly because you'll get more grime and stuff on there. With that said, I have had a lot of road salt and winter weather, so that has been a fairly good test. Hope you're finding it interesting. I'll do another one which will kind of encapsulate the next 3 months in one video as well. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching.